Hey guys, I just wanted to talk to you guys, kind of another little talk for myself, but maybe others, if they're finding this or going through these issues or whatever. I don't even know, it might be like a divine feminine thing, it could be a Taurus thing, who knows, who cares. But I've noticed a few things within myself that I was wanting to work on, whether it was just things that I noticed and thought of, or it was through interactions with people that it brought light to it for me. And maybe a type of 30-day challenge that I'll do, because right before my first part of my awakening, I loved doing like challenges. I would do like 2-week challenges, month-long challenges, just to like try something different and see what happened. And most of the time they ended up very beneficial, either what I thought would happen or even most of the time things that I didn't even think would happen happened. So either way, I'll get to that. But one of the biggest things that I'm noticing, which I've always known that I had it to a degree, but I was once told by somebody of my past that it affected things in the past. And although it was legit, there were reasons that contributed to it. That were legitimate for me to be doing it. But at the same, so it didn't help that I already had that tendency. But either way, it's still there, and I still need to be in alignment with what I'm doing. There are issues coming up of inconsistencies on my part, of me saying one thing and doing another. And on one hand, I am a very consistent and loyal person. But on the other hand, there are certain other things that I'm very wishy-washy on. And I don't like that part of myself. There really is no ill intent that ever goes behind that. It comes from a level of either fear or I'm not sure, or I also have a Gemini moon, so I kind of got that twins thing going on, especially emotionally. So, and sometimes too, I find like I really have, in a lot of ways, the spirit of a child. I mean, sometimes I'm a little rigid too, because I am a Taurus sun, but I do have the spirit and jokiness, almost like, not prankster energy, but like messing with you type energy, like a child. All in fun, I guess you would say. But yet that childlike essence does still affect other things too. So it's not even just play. I realize some part of me that's showing up, is kind of like a child inside of me. And although I do want to keep a huge part of that, and I hope that doesn't go away as I'm working and doing things to grow and mature within myself. There are parts of me that are not maintainable to stay that way, and I've got to grow them. And, I already knew they were there, but there was a situation that happened recently that after I thought about it for a few days, it really came to light again and really showed how it was an issue, and it was still an issue, and it's been an issue for a while. Especially with that person tends to bring it up in me the most. They tend to trigger me the most. They are one of my more triggering people. you know, for obvious reasons. So, you know, that's what I'm going to look at. And that's what's being presented to me right now to look at and grow. And it's my level of inconsistencies. Because even if there's things changing, even if I'm like, oh, I don't know, and there's fear, I still really need to work on presenting, you know, more of that stronger foundation and surety within myself. Yes, I'm a very grounded sign, and for the most part, people would probably say I'm very consistent and very structured, grounded, you know, together, secure, all of that. But there's still something in me that's not. And this person shows me that. Because they're the one who's able to trigger it. Meaning there's something. There's something there. That is a shaky foundation to some sort. For me, even myself, at the very least. There's things inside of me that are conflicting or going against each other, or I don't think fully into things, or you know, I'll say I'm going to do one thing and then I don't. Especially with not responsibility so much, but discipline. Maybe even responsibility, because before my awakening, it was really like, and even now, the things that really empowered me and pushed me forward were things of fear. And there are times that fear can be beneficial to you, obviously, but I don't want to have it in my life where the only things, or the only thing that pushes me forward for the most part to get progress done is fear. Even such as making money. You know, I've always been pretty good at manifesting money. And I've realized recently with one of my last videos that a lot of behind that is fear as well. And I don't want it to be a level of fear. I just don't. So now that I'm working on that and seeing that and stuff, it's really coming to a time in my life where I really have to find that level of discipline within myself. Not only for my own self and my own life and my sanity, and the people around me, but for business reasons, life purpose reasons, just self-growth reasons. Like, it's time, you know, it's time to get that together and evolve and grow that part of myself. Trying to find that balance between still maintaining that, you know, funness, imagination, creativity, and playfulness of a child, the free-mindedness of a child, but the balance of somebody who's grown up and knowing when it's time to play and when it's time to get serious. And on a surface level, I do have that. But underneath it, when it really comes down to me holding myself accountable for certain things, I don't have that, or I didn't up until now, should I say. I've realized that, you know, with mind, body, soul, they all play into each other. So your mind can only be so strong if your body and your soul are so strong. And your body can only be so strong if your mind and your soul are only so strong. And your soul can only be, or your spirit, whatever, can only be so strong if your mind and your body are only so strong. They all are a part of and affect each other. And I've been working on growing my soul or spiritual part, probably spiritual, I would say. My soul evolution. spiritual as in this spirit form. I've been working and trying to work on my mental evolution. And obviously they're still always evolving. And I've done a little bit of work on my body, but not as much as I should. I haven't taken as much accountability and responsibility for that as I should. And I need to like move and do it even more than I already am. And I just kind of had this idea where it was like kind of killing two birds with one stone, where I can work on my discipline and work on my health and my body. And I really want to try it out also because I feel like it'll be good for my mind. I tend to have one of those minds that I overthink things and I overanalyze things, and I just, it loops and loops and loops. And I feel like working on your body or working out will really help with that and release a lot of that energy. So what I'd like to do, or what I'm going to do, is maybe do like a 30-day challenge where every day for at least 30 minutes, I guess if I really want to, I can give myself 1 day a week break, but I'd like to try it every day, even if it's something like gentle. Like, it doesn't have to be strenuous, but every day for 30 days, I want to do something physical and exercising. And I still do a little bit now, but I don't do it as much as I want to, and I am not consistent with it. And I really want to do that because not only will it help me health-wise, it'll probably help me release mental energy. It'll help me lose even more weight. I'm like, maybe like 12 or 13 pounds away from having lost like 100 pounds from my highest weight. So it's time that I step up my game anyways. But mostly why I started out with it was it will bring up blocks in me, because there are going to be days within that 30-day period that I'm not going to want to do it, or my mind's going to mess with me or try to convince me that it's okay if I miss a day, or to not do it, or, you know, whatever my mind will tell myself. And I'm really wanting to strengthen my mind, and I'm really wanting to strengthen my discipline, and really wanting to strengthen where when I say something, that I do it, you know, not just, you know, for the most part, my word is true. I am of an integrity person, but there is a certain level there also of when push doesn't come to shove and I can get out of it, like something's not really on me, pushing me, I don't hold up to my word a lot of times. I mean, if it's another person or something, I will. Or if it's like a business thing or something, I will. But if it's just something where it's just me being held accountable, or like someone else in my life that, and I think, you know, it'll be okay, or it scares me or whatever, I just want to start holding myself accountable for the things I say and actually do it. And I guess in a way know that there are consequences to it. Not only to help prevent me from consequences in the future of losing things I don't want to lose, or gaining repercussions I don't want to. I mean, stuff happens. Oh, well, you get through it. But, you know, you got to learn your lesson. And it's time that I learn that and hold myself accountable, and not just for whatever may happen or the loss of it, but because it's something that I said, and I hold that respect for myself. And if I have trust or fear issues, how am I going to learn to trust myself if I can't even follow through on everything I say? Now, don't get me wrong, I've gotten better since I've started, you know, my awakening and working on things, but it's just becoming really evident that it's something that I really need to do now, and I need to step up my game on, especially now that I'm starting to feel a little bit better. I'm starting to have more energy and all of that. I want to step up my game a little bit. And I want to start to really hold myself accountable, and I don't know, maybe more blocks will come up and push through that and strengthen that within myself. And as my body gets stronger and those blocks come up and I have to work through them, it's going to make my mind even stronger, which is going to make my soul/spirit even stronger, which is just going to keep giving to each other parts of myself. So that's what I'm going to do. That's one of the things that I'm going to do to help work on things of inconsistencies and being held accountable, so that the things I think, do, and say are all in alignment. And I think that's one of the things that's affected me sometimes as far as happiness or whatever, is the fact that what I say and what I want and what I do are not always the same thing, or they're not always in alignment. Mostly, especially things pertaining to myself and what my values are and what I want. Especially as I'm still learning to integrate parts of myself, because one part of me may want one thing and the other part may want another. And, you know, sometimes they are a little bit at war. And sometimes you have to learn to parent yourself. I mean, that's really what growing up is learning to parent yourself, is learning to discipline yourself. And even if you don't want to do something, you do it because you know it's for your own good. You know it's what you need, even though that little voice in yourself is telling you, no, don't worry about it, or, oh, I don't want to do this. And treating yourself exactly like you would your child, or hopefully you would your child, where you know better and you're really trying to help them. Because, I mean, sometimes it's not good to do that to your kids, but for the most part, you know, adults have more experience in life and they know it's going to help their kid later in life. And sometimes you got to do that with yourself and not let that either self-sabotaging or just that really inner child part of yourself who's like, no, I don't want to, not get away with it, and just have them get through it. And then afterwards, they're even happier for it. And hopefully it just keeps going and I develop a new pattern and cycle with it. But for the right now, my main intent is going to be to help with my issues of inconsistencies that have been a problem for a while. And, you know, just getting to a point where I'm not going to say I don't want to deal with them anymore, but I guess in a way I don't. I'm on this mission and this journey of growing and evolving and making myself the best that I can be. And that's one thing that's came up recently, you know, that I've realized that I'm like, I really want to work on this, because I love that part of myself. I'm not going to say that I hate that part of myself. I love that part of myself and I have compassion, but I want that part of myself to evolve and grow, because there's new things that she can benefit from, I guess, if you want to say it like that. So we're growing, and that's my plan. Just wanted to share. The other thing I've really been aware of, and again, I've noticed if I remember back to things of my past, and that I know sometimes just are an issue, and I think it was exaggerated in the Virgo energy. Because I am such a straightforward person, I can be very harsh with my talking sometimes. I mean, sometimes I'm very, you know, nice and caring and comforting. But there are times And it's usually against the person that I'm with romantically. And not that I'm ever mean. I'm not abusive or mean or yelling, but sometimes I do tend to get kind of stern, or I guess what you would call mouthy, or slick out the mouth, I guess, as a man would call it. And I kind of do want to work on that, and not in the way where I'm not going to say what I think or hold back or anything like that, but really work on my manner of delivering and kind of evolving and growing to the way to where I can stay, for the most part, in my strength and in my power and in my calmness and security, and lovingly and compassionately try to get the message across. I mean, I know I can't control 100% how people perceive things, but I can try my best to do what I can do, because I've already felt it before. I know I've reflected on things in my past and seen where I probably could have said things better, or not so, like, I didn't mean it that way, but possibly stabbing way. And then, you know, so I've thought of it and something to work on, and then other stuff happened recently that even confirmed it, where I'm like, yeah, okay, it's time I start that. I really do need to work on that, and being able to always show a level of respect. I feel like I'm always respectful. I mean, yes, sometimes I do get frustrated, and so maybe then at that time, I either don't think as much about it, or I guess I just don't think as much about it. Because I guess if I really thought about some of the things I said that I don't mean anything about at the time, if it was said to me, it probably would bother me a little bit. So really just trying to think a little bit more before I say something. How would it affect me if it was said, or if it was said in the tone that it was said? So that's another thing that I plan on working on. So I don't know why I'm saying this to you guys. But that's part of my channel too, is my learning and releasing. Who's ever's there is there, and who's ever's not is not. And maybe something that I'm going through and figuring out could help you guys, or maybe even something I say, you guys will have something that can help me out. I mean, this is very much a community vibe here that I'm trying to build and grow, that I am building and growing. So, and talking sometimes just gets my thoughts out and what I'm going to do. So, yeah. I think that's really it for this video that I wanted to say. Yeah, that's it. Because I have a couple other things I want to talk about, but I think I'm going to make different videos on those. So I love you guys. Thanks for listening. Let me know if you have any other ideas or anything like that, or if this pertains to something that you're going through or you've been thinking of. Like I said, I'm not sure if this is just me in my life. I don't know if it's a divine feminine thing, Taurus thing, maybe even Gemini. I don't really know, but it's me either way. So I love you guys. I'll be seeing you soon. Bye.